Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fan. Sure, that light's a bit brighter tonight, isn't it? Sort this light up. So how are you all this evening? Turn that down a bit. There we go. So Celtic news this evening is where is the new manager and why hasn't the new manager been announced by Celtic? 2 seconds. I just need to message. Check your messages. Good evening, everyone. Right, there's been a bit of a hurrah with the Green Brigade tonight. They have released a statement after Celtic's statement last night. We'll dive into it. I'll read into the statement from the Green Brigade, and you can give me your thoughts on it to see what you think about the situation that has occurred. What's occurring? We'll get rid of that comment. So let's sack the board. Over the previous days, we have learned about a meeting between Celtic FC and the Safety Advisory Group, who would take place on Thursday the 20th of November. It was suggested to us that Celtic FC would use this meeting to legitimise further sanctions against the Green Brigade and to other Celtic supporters, with a potential full or part closure of the standing section for the remainder of the season. It's not going to be for the remainder of the season. I think that is scaremongering, to say the least. I don't think that there will be a ban for the remainder of the season, but you never know. Yesterday we wrote to Celtic FC to express our dismay at the relentless and cynical pursuit against our group and other Celtic supporters. We requested that fan representation be granted at tomorrow's meeting, which is permissible as per the terms of the reference of CAG. This request has been rejected without explanation. We remain deeply concerned at the language and the tone of which the Celtic FC refers to our group, particular continued stating criminal allegations as fact when no due process. We deny all these allegations. Of course you do. You always deny things until you're proven in a court of law, if that's the way that they're going. We are frustrated that there has been no willingness at any point to consider supporter feedback and evidence. This, together with sequence of events that people involved in their histories and the context of fan protest against the Celtic board, leaves us expecting a predetermined outcome from tomorrow's meeting. To further support our belief that Celtic FC has twice referred to us as a failure to respect the current unfair suspension. We'll talk about the suspension because that goes back to last season. And this is why we're in the position that the group are in. So they have to take some responsibility for their actions at some point. And, this isn't all around what just happened recently. It's unfair, it's emotional blackmail, and an example of the extended and already unfair collective punishment practice. It's also unfair to logical, rational, nor process. Little care for supporter treatment, well-being. Instead, they seek to sow division. Some people say that the Green Brigade sow division within the club. I mean, I've backed the Green Brigade, but you have to look at both aspects with a calm and open head, because I've known guys that have had football banning orders telling them not to go to games. I've had football banning orders, and I mean, I've known guys going all the way back to the 80s that had banning orders. And if you've got a banning order and you go to the game and you get caught, you get jailed. Simple as that. We have requested that Celtic FC meet with us to discuss the issue constructively and reach an amicable solution. The club has ignored this request. The safety of the stadium operation, included the standing section, is relying on compliant supporters. We have always engaged on this. No, you have nae. Compliant supporters are, when you're told that you're not to let off pyro and then you let off pyro, that's not compliant, is it? We remain willing and ready to engage should Celtic FC be ready to do so. It's a game, but we've got the powers that be at Celtic having their say on warnings that was given out. You know, the club were told that they would be banned. The group were told that it would be banned if they had any more pyro or if they had any more nonsense in that part of the stadium. The ban came in. They went against the ban and went into the stadium anyway. What did they expect? Do you know? Do you really? I said at the time. I said on the day on the watch along, when the Green Brigade were in there, if that's the Green Brigade in, they will get a ban. Because you can't be banned from a game and then just go, fuck it, we're going in anyway. If that happens, all fucking mayhem just prevails. There has to be some law and order at games, whether you like it or not. This isn't backing the board, and it's not against the Green Brigade. It's about just common sense, and I think that sometimes, and both sides, I think that common sense is lost on both sides sometimes with this narrative of agenda for change and all the rest of it. And I did say months ago that when you look at the Celtic Collective, there are a number of organisations that do have their own agendas within Celtic Park. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm sure we'll jump into the comments to see what a lot of people are saying about it. PLC are Polish touts, says Wee Marjam. Yeah, we know that, but come on, you can't be going in. The board would rather back the police than the fans. Paul, let's be honest, it's not about that one incident. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you're a level-headed guy. If you're banned for a game, this all comes down to the ban. Let's not pretend it's nothing else. This is the fact that the Green Brigade went against them being banned. If they took the ban on the chin, got it over and done with, back in. They've done it before. I've sat in the Celtic Supporters Club down in London Road where they've been banned before. And do you know, even though I wasn't in the Green Brigade, but my ticket was marked Green Brigade by Celtic for some unknown reason. But it is what it is. You've got to, if you fly with the crow, you get shot with the crow. I accept that. But at the same time, if you're going to go against a ban, this is what's pissed off the club, and this is what's pissed off the safety committee. Because if the ban was to stop them going into the section, right? If the ban was to go in to stop them going into the section and they went in anyway, they must have got through the ticket cordon where they ask for tickets for the section. So they disregarded that and just went through. Do you know? And if that's why the meeting's been called as well, they were banned from a game. They were banned for a number of games. The first one obviously has passed. Do you know what are Celtic doing to make sure that that they're just not going to please themselves? You have to have law and order at football. I'm sorry, but with any type of event, you've got to have law and order. Do you know what I mean? It can't just be a friggin' riot. Don't know. It's just my take on it. But anyway, why do the Green Brigade think they're special treatment? They are fans like the rest of us. I want to get as many different comments up about this tonight because there's a lot of fans from a lot of parts of the stadium join on the channel, and there's obviously a wide and varied range of views, and I think that that's what's good about the channel, because it doesn't just give you a polarised view. Sometimes especially when you go on the likes of Twitter, you know, if you're pro Green Brigade, all you're going to see is pro Green Brigade stuff. If you hate the Green Brigade, all you're going to see is hate Green Brigade stuff. Do you know, if you're completely obsessed with Sevco, you're going to just get Sevco shit on it on your Twitter. But anyway, let's talk about the manager. What the hell is going on with Celtic, and where is the manager? And then we'll come back. I'll keep the residents come from both sides. Green Brigade, that's a good one. Let me jump onto that one. That's a good comment as always, mate. Division is coming from both sides. The Green Brigades played into the club's hands. They take unilateral actions like throwing stuff onto the pitch to stop games. And then great that the club acts unilaterally. That's a good one. That is a good one. You can't stop spending their own money. It's very everything that's going on just now, and I thought that we would maybe get to a conclusion of it as we got closer to the AGM, but it doesn't look like we're going to get to a conclusion of anything. I don't think that we're going to achieve, I don't think that the fans collective will achieve anything on Friday, unfortunately. I mean, I don't see monumental change. I think there's going to be, I think that the Celtic social media will go into action as of tomorrow. It looks like that the Celtic Christmas, it's a bit early for the Christmas video coming out, is it not? But it looks like the Christmas video may come out tomorrow morning. There's already been the first part of the Christmas stuff come out from Celtic. A very emotional video talking to a woman, Frances, who was, and it talks about something that's close to my heart, and something that I've experienced in my life, and something that a lot of people have experienced in their life, and it's suicide. And I think we should take a minute to think about the families of people that have been affected by suicide, because suicide is something that is not easy to deal with. And the fact that Celtic are taking this on within the spirit of Christmas video, I don't know, and she's talking about the fact that her life changed with the Celtic Foundation, that the walk-in at Celtic Park, that Celtic Park does have the walk-in on a daily basis, where people that are maybe thinking about going down that road can go in and just talk to someone without talking to someone, without it being someone they know, and it's fantastic that Celtic do that. And we should never forget that, Celtic, there is so much good that goes on at Celtic, but then when you look at the board, there is so much bad as well. Let me just jump on to Celtic Football Club. For the past 10 years, our Christmas films have been focused on the joyful Christmas magic, but this year we wanted to raise awareness to the other side of the festive season. This is Francis's story. So I wonder if Celtic are going to go out, rather than with a Christmas special, due to the fact that we don't have a manager, and maybe the Christmas film was already filmed. Maybe it was already filmed and it's got Brendan Rodgers in it and it had to be scrapped. I think that that's a more likely scenario, and Celtic have had to change what was normally go out as a Christmas joyful Brendan Rodgers being Father Christmas at Celtic, and all the backroom staff, John Kennedy be sitting there being Father Grumpy, and maybe it had to be sacked, and maybe this is Celtic now changing the focus and going down the more emotional side of Celtic, the side that we don't talk about a lot, and it is the Celtic Foundation. I don't think it gets talked about enough at the club. There's a lot goes on at the club where we do good. And I've seen a comment that just came up that says, if you don't support the Green Brigade, you don't know the history of Celtic and why it was formed. There is it. If you hate the Green Brigade, you really don't know the history of Celtic and why it was formed. To begin with, says Guest Star, during the ban that the Green Brigade were going to have, would have been the time that the Green Brigade do their food collection at Celtic Park. Now, I don't know if they would have still done the food collection. I think they'll still do the food collection outside Celtic Park on the day that it normally is. It's at the beginning of December, and they always raise a fantastic amount of money from Celtic fans from all around, bring an unbelievable amount of food that gets taken to, and it's crazy to think in 2025, when you think about how much that it's still needed. And the Green Brigade do good, but on the other side of the coin, for all the good that they do, there is the side that doesn't go with the powers that be. And so be it. Yeah, I'm all for going against the powers that be, but when it comes to illegal aspects of things that they've done may or may not be, and I'm not talking about singing songs here. I'm not talking about fucking IRA songs. I'm not talking about Irish songs that have been sung for a long time. I'm talking about pyro. I'm talking about, the stuff that goes on away from stadium and stuff. But it is one of those things. Right, let's cut away from that one. The trial for Wilfred Nancy gone cold. Is the trail? No, I think that Celtic are going to announce something with him this week. I don't think that it's gone cold. I think if it had, at Derry City, the police don't get into the stadium. Yeah, but that's a completely different kettle of fish. Of course, there would be a fucking riot if the RUC was to try and get it. It's not the RUC anymore, is it? It's police, the police of Northern Ireland, but that's something that's been for a long time, Paul. Yeah. Fans have had complaints. They can't ask and force on it unless they have 50% season tickets to agree on it. Boom. People don't want to bring their kids. Sad for the future. Being ruined by over-passionate fans. I don't think that that's true. People don't want to bring their kids. There's more people than ever take their kids to Celtic Park. Celtic Park have got a great season ticket book for kids from a very young age up until they're about 15, 16. It's only 50 quid for season tickets for kids. I had both my kids' season tickets. My kids grew up in 111. Do you know what I mean? My kids grew up in 111, so I don't think that that's a true reflection. If anything, the younger kids love the Green Brigade and love the ultra scene and love the singing and dancing. But everyone has their own opinions, mate. Do you know? But it's not something that I've ever seen over the years that I followed Celtic before I moved abroad. The Green Brigade will never bear the boards. That break the boards. They need to find some common ground. Nancy drew a lot of games, 7th in the MLS, and is not Celtic managerial, says Green for Go. Interesting. He also got them to their version of the Champions League final. You could say that maybe had an impact. I don't know. If you hate the Green Brigade, go support another club that needs your support and money to survive. I'm not having this a love or hate Green Brigade night. I think that you have to look at it with an open mind, and if you're banned from going into something, and you go against the ban, and you go in anyway, you have to be prepared for the repercussions. If not, it's a fucking free for all, and we just start overcrowding in the stadium. And then that doesn't go down too well, because we all know, because we'll start at a game. I was at a game with Liverpool fans, a charity game for the Hillsborough disaster. And I know it's a different era, but if that's the way that you want to go, and just go fuck it, we just overflood areas with people. You go against ticket regulations. If you're banned from a section, fuck the ban, we'll go in anyway. Where does it then stop? Because the Hillsborough disaster is still fresh in a lot of people's minds. So you've got to think of it with, and maybe it's an age thing with me, maybe it's the fact that you've been through your rebellious period in your life where you've got a hatred of everybody and you want to fucking kill everyone, and when you go to football you see that as an outlet to just fucking, there was a big thing in Scotland, there's the 90-minute bigot. Is that still such, well, it's a massive thing in one part of Glasgow, in Ibrox, but I think that we kind of got rid of it out of Celtic Park. You never know. The board will make excuses to ban the Green Brigade because they are outspoken and they feel openly. They will not make any excuse. The Green Brigade have played right into the hands of the board with this one. The board must have been sitting thinking the Christmas had come early when the Green Brigade went against the ban and they went into the section, drums and all. Drums, the whole lot, into the section. Yous are banned, fuck it, we're going in. Drums and all, we're going in. The board must have been sitting there going, those stupid little boys. Because we're just going to ban them now. That's all I'm saying. Nobody is very clear what the Green Brigade policies are. Well, they are. Got some happy clappers on here for the Green Brigade. East Kilbride are doing well. They could do with the sport. Get out of League 2. Jesus. I was in tears watching Francis talk about her sister Baz. Yeah, I know. And it's something that's affect. Listen, a guy that I know committed suicide about a month and a half ago. I was devastated when I got the phone call. Surprised. One of the last person. Known him for years. When I moved house, we had a big one of those big kids play shed things. Looks like a fucking oversized dollhouse. And we lifted it out our back garden while we were taking it to the new house, and he brought a trailer up. We lifted it on the trailer, and then we lifted it over fences. And he was the kind of guy that would do anything for you. And I've also had issues, it's just unbelievable. Kind of puts the Green Brigade into perspective. I think the board is he's getting undivided. But Jerry, where? I mean, I know that there's a meeting after the AGM. There's a meeting with the fans collective after the AGM. But what can really be done now that the AGM is done and dusted on Friday? Dublin's Fair City say if we can get 6 points away to St Mirren, then Hibs will be on our way to a game this Saturday. It is that. I lost two of my best pals to suicide. Yeah. It's amazing how many men take their own life. It's unbelievable. Scottish joke. You couldn't be further from the truth. You couldn't be further from the truth, I think. Palmer should be back for the Christmas video. Louis Palmer. Maybe he was in the Christmas video and that's why they pulled it. Save the Honda Civics for rocket science. Rogers left. I'm just going to jump through these. Going to get closer to the end. There's a good one. And it's not about hating the Green Brigade. Most people don't have a problem with them in principle, but they aren't above criticism. They aren't above criticism. I wonder. It's all showing fine at this end, mate, so it must be your end. Yeah, just log out and log in. Yeah, my throat is sore for last night. Can you tell? Rules are rules. You're no special. Wise up. Yeah. Rules are rules. How could Rod Stewart help us get rid of the board? So you want Rod Stewart to come in and be the majority owner? A Tory? Jesus. Mate, have a word with yourself. If he was a true Celtic fan. Don't hate the Green Brigade, but I'm going to get off of this because it's getting away from the Green Brigade stuff. Baz, what's your opinion on them? I fully back the Green Brigade, but I think that when, like I've said, Jim, when you go against a ban, you know, I said at the time, there'll be repercussions. It's been done before. Do you know? It's nothing new. So now coming out and saying that, this safe advisory meeting is all about getting to the Green Brigade. You were banned for the club for 3 games. You went against that. Did you think that you were just going to get away with it? Do you think that anybody within Celtic Park, if they ban 50 supporters and then the 50 supporters go, fuck it, we're going in anyway, well, you just get a longer ban. You don't have to be a bloody scientist to work that out. You know it's going to happen. You know, and if that's what they wanted to do, to make a point, well, they've made their point, but they've got to deal with the consequences. You know? Anyway. Ban's been closed, don't listen to him, it's DD talking. There are thousands of Tories that are Celtic fans, board players and fans. Yeah, I know there is. What's the reason for the ban? When you go back to last season, and the game at Hampden, and the pyro that went off, that said CFC, and it stopped the game for 15 minutes. They were then given a suspended ban. We were also given 500 tickets less for Hampden after that occasion. They were given a suspended ban about pyro at that game and other games. It was a totting up procedure. It was like getting a yellow card. Do you know? You did it then, and then you're getting a yellow card. If you go again, you'll get a red card. And that is what has happened. Do you know, they had an incident, whether they say it was an incident or not, whether there was police injured or not, whether it was a Celtic steward injured or not. Until it's proven that there was nobody injured, do you know, maybe they shouldn't have been banned. But with the totting up procedure and the fact that they already had a 3-match suspended ban they were told about before the season started, you've got to remember that Celtic are on a watch list for pyro in European football as well, where they're going to get a reduction in tickets for letting off pyro at European games. They were on a suspended ban for, I think it was a year in UEFA. So it's been sitting there and it's been boiling away. To say that now it's unfair, well, if you're going to keep on breaking the rules, do you know, that's the reason for the ban. It was a totting up procedure. They were told they had a 3-month suspended ban. They did something that didn't go down well with the club. They got banned. They believe that they shouldn't be banned. They went in. Now they're going to get another extended ban because they went against the ban and went in. It's as simple as that. I'm happy with Maloney and Martin O'Neill, who looks like a ball boy. He does that. I can see the Green Brigade wound down in the next 8 months. No, Brown Warrior, that will never happen. That will never happen. They won't be wound down. Who can wind them down? There's nobody at the club can wind the Green Brigade down. That's just crazy talk. Someone's telling the Green Brigade to follow rules, probably smug half-bottle bravado juice into the game. Oh, Jesus. Right, anyway. Bit of Celtic news with Wilfred and Nancy. It's nothing new really. We're still waiting on to see who is potential. I think that the delay is looking like is backroom staff issues. Whether he can bring over his backroom staff, whether it is all about compensation. The fact that there's been no further development since Friday last week, and we're now on Wednesday. I mean, the Daily Record broke it that he was the man, the deal was going to be done over the weekend. We're now halfway during the week. I said at the time that I didn't think anything would be announced Monday or Tuesday due to the time difference, due to, when you look at it, people trying to move families across and talk to their families, whether or not they want to move. There was a lot to be dealt with. It's not just the manager. He was bringing his backroom staff. And then there was the compensation aspect also. Now, the compensation aspect, Celtic, 2 to 3 million, they'll pay that no problem if he was to be the guy. But what has really been the hold-up? It's all quiet from Celtic Park, as you would expect with this kind of process. Celtic came out on Monday. Martin O'Neill said, this may be the last time you speak to me. It may be the last time you speak to me. He obviously knows that he's been told a certain amount, and Martin O'Neill being the forever diplomat at Celtic, I think he would be a fantastic person to take over from Peter Lawwell, just to have a figurehead at the club that people like and trust. I think that when you look at that, it's interesting that there's no further details being released. And managerial search goes on longer than EastEnders' Christmas cliffhanger. Yeah, it does, and it's embarrassing, isn't it? It's when you're a club the size of Celtic, and they should have had a manager already, I wouldn't say lined up, but you would have your list of candidates. It shows that Celtic, they must have known that Brendan Rodgers was not going to be here at the end of the season, and they went down the road of, we'll wait and see. And it's the same old Celtic, and this is why we won't change for the board, because this wait and see scenario, they should have been forward thinking and thinking, right, what managers are out there that are doing well at the current moment, who have proved themselves over a number of years. Now, if this guy, Wilfred Nancy, when you look at it on paper, I mean, he's overachieved. He's overachieved. Getting the club to the Champions League final in North America was no mean feat at all. No mean feat at all. What's then the delay? You have to ask Celtic that. We seem to get in Ange Postecoglou very quick when the deal for him that went to Newcastle. Do you know? We seem to get Ange Postecoglou in really quick. But anyway, right, that's me done and dusted for the night. We didn't even do a poll tonight, did we? No, didn't even do a poll. Imagine that. Not even doing a poll. There's been over 1,200 people on the live this evening. Hopefully we'll wake up tomorrow morning with a bit of Celtic news. I've got a funny feeling that it will just be the Christmas video or the next of the Christmas video selection, whatever it may be. You never know. Celtic may have brought out a Celtic video. They might just be bringing more videos out about real life situations and how the Celtic Foundation has helped change lives. And maybe that's the way we should be thinking about going into this Christmas period. It is a period of giving. Will the Celtic board give the fans what they want? Change at the club. For me, I just want a new manager before Christmas. A couple of super chats have come in. Wee Mitch has given us a super chat. Absolutely fantastic for that, mate. And Danny Cassie also has come in with a super chat. Thank you for that, Danny. And Danny says, was it Danny that said we were going to win the World Cup? I can't mind. Somebody said they were going to win the World Cup. I was that shocked when I read it. I thought, surely not. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fan. I was going to speak about the merch drop this morning. Changing manager now might cost us the final. I don't think so. Do you think so? Do you think changing manager right now would cost us the final? Where's Lanky gone these days? He usually knows what's going on. He's under another name. But he's not on tonight. The Celtic Messiah is the channel that he runs under now. But he's not been on tonight. He might be hiding. Anyway, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.